Hey, what's up, guys? If it's your first time here, consider subscribing. Everybody else, welcome back. Today I've got the LS swapped G35 on the lift. This is episode 2 of it, of putting everything back together and actually doing the build today. Working on the accessory drives, trying to get everything ready for that wiring harness. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome back. Episode 2. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing. If this is kind of crap you're into. Today I got the G35 up on the lift. We're going to be doing the accessory drives and we're working on that, trying to get it ready for that wiring harness build that I'm going to do. Let me show you how I'm doing it, what I'm doing it with, and my thought process. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. Let's go. Alright, so I've kind of laid everything out on the table. Over here, I don't know if you can see it if it's in the frame, but over here I have 2 alternator setups. One is the original Infiniti G35 alternator that I have the plug for, and I might use it, I might not. I like the way the mounting hardware and everything's made into this alternator, as far as getting it mounted up and fabricating something where it mounts on the motor cleanly. But at the same time, I know this is just an old raggedy dirty one. This ain't gonna be the final one. This is just for mock-up. At the same time, the Chevrolet has a pretty simple setup too, and I'm using a Chevrolet engine, Chevrolet harness, mated with a Infiniti harness. So I'm really not sure where I'm gonna go with this yet. Over here you'll see the factory AC compressor for the Infiniti G35 and the factory power steering pump. Now I'm going to be mounting these in a stock location as if the VQ motor was still in it, so we can use the factory AC lines, condensers, and everything else. Also the factory power steering lines. Kind of like the LOJ kit. If you've done a lot of searching online, you'll see the LOJ kit. Pricey, yes, but I mean I can't afford that, so I'm going to kind of do my own thing and mimic it a little bit and try to make these work for now. I like it. I'm gonna go with the Chevrolet alternator most likely, because I can use a factory bracket to move it to another location later with pretty much minimal modification, and I'll show you what I'm talking about later in the video. I am going to be taking the truck crank pulley off, and I'm using this one here. Let me see. It's off a Cadillac CTS, I think it is. Here's the Dorman number. If you go to your local part stores like Advance or O'Reilly's or whatever and look it up by application, it says it can't be ordered or it's factory direct or whatever, use this number here, and it's the same pulley, it just comes up a little different. I had to kind of track it down at Advance Auto Parts, and it's fairly cheap, not too bad. And then down here at the end you have the LS7 water pump. Now I ordered, there's 2 different styles of these water pumps where the outlet is here versus there. Well, I wanted it there because I need these mount holes. I wanted to use these mount holes and be able to have enough room to do my pulley setup for the power steering pump the way I want to do it. Plus I got an aftermarket aluminum radiator. Hold on, let me go grab that. All right, as far as this water pump, there's a couple different styles of these water pumps that come with the, let me show you right here how low profile that snout is. All right, and that's going to make it able to line up with this crank. As you can see, it's a lot more lower profile than the truck style pulley that comes on the engine I'm using. Now with this being said, if you look at it, notice the lower radiator hose points towards the lower port, and the upper radiator hose a 90 or so, and I'll be able to get to that fairly easy. You can, let me, if you want to save some money and some time and you don't want to do a lot of custom stuff, you can use the factory radiator fans AC condenser, the whole bracketry will go right back on, and that's without any kind of modification. So you don't have to use a aftermarket radiator and stuff like I'm doing. So I'm going to take a second and put the water pump on right fast. All right, so everybody always wonders how much further these water pumps sit in than the factory truck pulley. Well, there you go, and you never really see a good shot of it, but this is where your bigger belt, not your AC belt, but if you look, well, you can't see it in this shot, I'll have to move the camera. The belt that rides on this pulley with the setup we're doing is way out here, even with the snout here on the pump. So it sucks it back a good, I don't know, 2 inches, 2.5 inches, maybe. A good bit, a very good bit. So and that's the reason I went with this pump. You know, I want everything to be sucked back. Plus, you know, this pump also has good mounting places for the power steering pump and everything else. And if we wind up going with a turbo setup and I need to make brackets for a turbo setup in the future, where it's going to be sitting up here, maybe I can use this for the brackets on the turbo and really have something cool going on there. Also, if we do a turbo setup, I got to looking, and let me see if I can get you down here. I've got plenty of room right there if I have to move that alternator. That's where the alternator is going to go. If I have to move the alternator to the factory location, which is up there with a factory alternator bracket, that's going to be an easy move if I use the Chevrolet alternator, and I just have to extend the wires over that way, and there is plenty of room for a exhaust side to go back out. All right, guys, so while I was putting the crank pulley and everything on, I got to noticing this bolt hole, and I kept the factory bracket for the factory AC pump. And if you look, this is the factory line running to the factory AC pump, and it fits scary perfect. I mean, absolutely. Oh, too bright. I mean, just perfect right there. Now, as far as this goes, this lining up, I'm looking at it from here to there, and I'll probably try to take a picture of it and post it up there. But just eyeballing it, I mean, it's perfect. I mean, all you need is a factory AC bracket, and you got your factory air conditioning hooked up straight to the LS. That easy. I mean, we only got one bolt holding the bracket right now, so I'll be able to play with this going up or down. And I have some holes here that I make a bracket maybe that comes over and down and bolts to that or something, and use this bolt hole and make a good solid bracket that maybe comes down the block and then bolts in there. That's probably what I'll do. That'll be the easiest. And then all right, I'll use some video editing here. If you look at that tab right there, that's another mounting point for the back of the AC bracket. All right, and then if you look at that rusty hole off to the left, that's a threaded hole here on the block, and I'm pretty sure that's not the knock sensor hole, so we're good there. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure we're good there. Make some sort of bracket to fill that space. Just trying to look at it. Looks like some little 1-inch tubing or something like that will work out pretty dang good there. But look, moral of the story is factory AC bracket will line your factory AC pump up with this crank pulley here. Hey, that's one accessory down. I mean, all this other stuff is just little easy stuff, so awesome.